Childhood days, same color, same street. Neighbors and best friends, hearts in sync with me. Like twins, we laughed, the world felt. You are listening to the Rosy Blue Room.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We are back with yet another video.
Hi guys. Hope you guys doing well.
Or let's call this video a podcast because this is supposed to be a podcast. Right. So, you guys might have watched our previous video where we were together, right? So let us give you a little tea from the hangout. So we were like together for like a night out, day out, whatever you can say, right? And we were sitting there and we were watching this 2000 genre romantic movies, the old Hollywood rom-coms, the classic ones, like, and we have watched many, like we have watched many from the series, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or 10 Days. What is that?
10 days.
How to lose, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Confession of Shopaholic and Princess Diaries and many, many more, right? And even from Bollywood like YJSD and the classic era of the rom-coms from which we can just never take our eyes off from the movie, and it's just so amazing to look at them and like fall in love with the story the way they are like putting the story out, right? And do you ever
Yeah.
think that in real life, is it possible in real life? Like real or real, right?
Just get there. Uh, so as we were watching those movies, so the movie had the lead,
Actor, lead.
yeah, the leading lady and her partner she finds eventually, which she was looking for, like her, she would call him her Prince Charming or something like that, and so she finds him. They fall in love. They eventually get to know each other, and they realize okay they are made for each other, and then they there are a few obstacles in between while they are in the relationship, and eventually everything is sorted out and they end up happily ever after, as we all say. But is there really a happily ever after in real life? That was the question came across our minds while watching those movies, and we thought, why not make a um, video on that? So here we are discussing, Chino.
Also, when we say, is there happily ever after? Yes, yes, there is a happily ever after, but is it that easy the way they show it in movies? Like, no worries and nothing, and love unites everything, and love conquers everything, and whatever they say, is it
Exactly.
possible? No, right? No. So, as Hashali said, that is what we came across, and we started to think. Um, let everybody hear what we started to think. Okay, so
Mhm.
today's topic is real or real happily ever after question mark. And this is the second episode from the series Adulting is a Scam, because we really thought that in the movies they show that little girls admiring the princess stories and waiting for the prince charming, and then everybody has this bad phase, and then eventually when we like still growing up, we think that okay, like when we grow up as adults, there's gonna be a happily ever after, that easy and that cool. But is it really the story? No, no. So let's dive into it. I don't know if we notice these things, but when we watch these movies, there's always this exceptionally, conventionally attractive, beautiful, gorgeous woman, right, as a lead heroine. So even if she's like from whichever background and whatever education, and to be honest, wherever she is from, it really doesn't matter because it's always about being
She looks.
like pretty girl. Yes, it's always about how she looks, and it's always about being this flower pot. And there's always this like I don't want to say always, but like 90% of the times in these movies, there's always this uh first meeting scenario where the hero notices the heroine from afar and she's like this gorgeously laughing, like, ha, a laughing girl. And then, um, I don't know, that is the plot. I'm sorry. Yeah, I still want to work in those kind of movies, so whatever.
Yeah,
Okay, double standards, yes. But I think it's always so of course I wanna work in the Love at First Sight movie, but I just hope there will be more than that to the story. It's always so overly glorified into all the movies that okay, girl is like extremely pretty, and then there's some guy looking at her, and there's love at first sight story, right? And that is the beginning of their love. The only thing that they know about the other person is that the person is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I think we have been seeing these things ever since like from generations. I think we have seen these things in like Prince Charming stories and from ancient times, these stories we keep hearing about, right?
Yeah.
But when we really think about it, is it really a love at first sight? Or is it just lust at first sight? I mean, we're not
Frankly
categorizing
speaking,
by saying,
frankly
yeah.
speaking, we live in a world where people will always look at you first. They will look at you, they will scan you, and that's how human mind works, I'll say. Because we always want to look at pretty things and attractive things, and uh, it's like it's very normal and very human instinct of us. Because whenever someone is passing by and if the person is attractive, you tend to look at that person for a second more. And when you think about it, yeah, uh, there are people in the world who are maybe not that attractive, and there are people who are more attractive. There are multiple kind of people in this world. I don't think so. You need more than looks and more than um, a pretty face to have a happy relationship, I guess.
But I think there are these some movies where these dialogues are very famous for um, what do you like about me? You're pretty. What else? What else? You know that one?
Yeah, and those movies and those unrealistic expectations, um, those movies actually create unrealistic expectations among normal people in the society. Because at the end of the day, the people playing the characters on in the movie are actors. They are gonna be gorgeous. Acting industry works on gorgeous people. So it's very obvious that the person in the movie is gonna be hella attractive, the girl and the man both. And we as normal spectators, the people sitting up in front, like the opposite side of the screen, should understand that we are normal human beings. We have normal body types, normal skin textures. We don't do the extreme skin treatment those actors do. We don't have the money for it sometimes. So it's fine. And people sometimes forget that and they just go ahead and be like, no, I wanna date a gorgeous woman or I wanna date a muscular man because I want to show off my girlfriend or boyfriend. You can show off your girlfriend and boyfriend even though if they're not attractive or they are not that pretty in societal standards. They should be pretty in your eyes. That's what matters, I guess. And people don't get it. It's
I
very
think
hard, I guess, for people to get. It's very easy to understand when you know that, but I guess that's how world works.
I think what we're trying to say here is that it's perfectly fine to be attracted to pretty things because as it is human nature, our eyes chase beauty. But it would be so much great if we just not let these movies glorify our brain and mind that this is the only way of falling in love and like have these flower poet people, you know, as real expectations because that is not how world particularly works. Not everybody looks like they're out of Vogue magazine. No. And there's a lot of lights and makeup
Yeah.
goes for
Too
the
much makeup.
person who's yes, for the person who is working in front of camera. And do not let me get started about the how much you have to maintain and starve yourself to be the perfectly zero size figure to be the person standing in front of camera because camera does add 10 pounds. Okay, the
Yeah.
people you see here, they are very, very skinny in real life. Like, yes. And if you're talking about that, okay, there are other people that, not everybody's like going for zero size and stuff. There are other actors and stuff like that. But we do not see a lot of movies like these around them. Like we have seen a few, but
Yeah.
not many, because it's not glorified. But I believe that is how everybody around the world works some way other, less glorified, more human, more real, right? So I think when we say it's is it really a love at first sight or is it lust at first sight? We're not just trying to say lust at, is it just physical, like just
Hmm.
physically body. We are also talking about what our eyes see as pretty, and that is
Yeah.
what we're talking about as lust here in this particular context.
Yes.
And we are definitely trying to say that no, that it's not real. Like
Hmm.
it's not real. Is love at first sight cool? Yes. Is it? It's perfectly fine. It's very romantic if the story goes something like, okay, you saw them do something other than just being pretty and standing there like this. Okay, if you saw something like that, like okay, somebody's like helping somebody, or I don't know, playing something cool and showing some intellectual thing or studying, or I don't know, whatever that interests you. Is it that then? And if that is how it is defined as love at first sight, that might be logical to think about. But if somebody's standing there just as a model on Vogue, and if that is a love at first sight, then I believe it's definitely not, because I think love definitely takes a lot more than just the
Yeah.
face and body, as we say, as we always say in a cliche way. What else? What more? Personality is what matters, right?
Yes.
And I think when we say that personality is what matters, there's the second topic we come to, toxic or romantic. Okay, I believe, I don't know about you guys. Let me just tell you about me. I'm a too much of a Wattpad girly. Okay,
Uh-huh. I know.
okay. Yeah, a moment of silence for me, please. Right. But I have limits. I have limits to glorifying um the Sigma boy. Yes, sorry. Sigma alpha male characters, specifically portrayed as masculine and manly in
Yeah.
the the Wattpad girlish thing. There are so many stories on Wattpad. They just overly glorify violence and toxicity of characters, like any character. So. And even in movies, we see that they're like very controlling. Like, the dialogues like, we lose our breath. But when we look at those dialogues, when they say, don't breathe around other people, whatever. I don't know.
You belong to
Um,
me or something like that. Yeah. I own you, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It's very cool. It's very romantic. I am down for that, whatever. Because as I said, I'm very, very Wattpad girly. People who don't know what Wattpad girlies or Wattpad people are, it's not just people reading Wattpad stories. It's about the
Girls living them in the moment of reading that story. Basically believing that it is perfectly right to be in a imaginary relationship.
delusional world.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think I should be ashamed at this point to say that, but I am not, so whatever. Yeah. Yeah, right. So these dialogues are so good and so nice, and see, they get me blushing every time. But only if the two people in the relationship know the respect and boundaries and not forcing each other to do anything that they do not wish to do and stuff. And if it's
Mm.
coming out of just love and not ownership and jealousy, it's good and it should be romanticized, I guess. But a lot of the times it's really shown that the protagonist, mostly hero, right, is trying to be like this macho man and then I don't know, like punching on guys' face while looking at them and then fighting with the girl because why did you breathe around the person? Because it's just a sign of jealousy and whatever. I think these kind of things set very toxic standards for people when they watch such things. Because so many times we read stories like these in our news articles that a girl tried to say no, and I have read this story, so I'm just saying it. It was the story where it was a girl. So the girl said no multiple times, and then how the movies have romanticized it when she says no because she's just trying to be like nice and feminine, and I don't know, whatever that means. And then the guy like keeps following her and then apparently it ends in a police case. But in movies he's just a like nice um can't take a no sigma macho man toxic-ish guy, and then apparently she just surrenders to his love, and it's apparent.
Mm. At this point, you're just describing Tere Naam. Because that is the
What?
exact plot of Tere Naam.
Tere naam in nutshell, you guys. Yes.
Yeah,
So
basically. Yeah.
right. So, overly glorifying these things, right, definitely lead to wrong toxic standards because, as I was saying, so many times we read these news articles that people actually try to do it in real life, and apparently it ends in a police case, as it
Yeah.
should, as it
Yeah.
should, for whichever gender, not trying to specify any gender, right? Even if girl is doing the stalking and going out of limits,
Oh,
and if
girl
it
stalking
it
वाला
is
मूवी
wrong,
भी
then it
है.
is wrong.
Girl stalking वाला मूवी भी है.
Which
There is this movie called Aya, and it's Rani Mukherjee. So we have girl stalking a guy also in Bollywood. So, yeah.
all right.
Progress.
So
Equality.
what progress? Shut up. All
It's
right.
funny. It's
So
funny. Yeah.
right. So definitely these things lead to developing many toxic standards, and it should not be glorified into real world.
I have watched that movie doesn't mean I do those things, and I don't encourage those things. Okay. It's just, it's very wrong. Don't stalk people. Okay. Stalking them on Instagram and like liking the pictures from 4 years ago is fine. That people normally do. Okay. But don't practically go and follow like a crazy person. Like, don't do that.
And maybe don't stand in front of their house Don't try to talk to them, even if they blocked you everywhere and they clearly told
Mm.
you, do not follow me, or I'll put a restraining order on you, I'll give you to police. Then please don't try to make a new account and try to message them. Okay?
In that case, that girl's ना का मतलब ये हाँ नहीं होता है. ठीक है? So just
मतलब ना ही होता है
stop.
भाई, ना ही होता है.
Yes.
Right, because this thing definitely happened to me, and
Yeah. Yeah. Story time some another day. We will tell you a
yes,
story.
story time
We
for the
have a
another day. But also, coming back to Wappad goalies, right? Yes. It is always shown that most of the times that opposites attract, like one is, I don't know, morning and the other is night, and the only time they can meet is like, what is that? Twilight? Yes,
yeah.
yes, something like that. So, is it really practical? I was in a relationship like that once. The story is coming up on next week. Yes. And we were like exactly opposite people. It didn't work out for many things, but it's not always just about opposite attracts and then the story can work out together. Even if there's nothing common, I think the one thing has to be common is the adjustments that you are ready to make because you love each other, not as glorified as, okay, this is my personality, this is what I do, and that is what he or she does, and still our story is working out together perfectly fine. No, it doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work like that at all. You are supposed to, or you have to make efforts to make the story work out, even if there's love. And that is the one common thing in the opposite attracts if the story works out. If there's nothing in common, even if you're not ready to make changes for make the story work out without changing your original personality, it doesn't work out. Not like the way they show in movies or I don't know, books, overly glorified. Opposites attract, yes. But will the story always work out? No, not until somebody is like both of them are ready to step down. And it's never 50-50.
I'll say for a relationship to work, both the people should meet at a point.
Everybody's personality is so distinct from other person. It would be, I think, only 1 or 2% possibility that uh, two people have just exactly same similar interests and similar personalities and similar type of thinking and the patterns and everything. So I believe by that theory, isn't like everybody opposite to each other? Like, no, in some
Yeah,
way,
in some way we
right?
all are opposite to each other, but there are some cases where the people are like literally opposite, pole apart, and they fall for each other, and it's crazy. But
Crazy.
yeah, it's not just about, as I said, it's not just about falling for each other, it's about how you are in that relationship with each other.
Many a times being exactly in the relationship where two people are completely poles apart to each other, and often at times if they can't find a common ground they lead to breakup, right? But in movies and in even on social media right now these days, you know how glorified the breakup is shown? Like, okay, I'm gonna get over that girl. I'm gonna get over that guy. And then they go to gym, they make a cool body, and I don't know, get some haircuts
Yeah.
and like change their style and wardrobe and um, I don't know, become size -2 and go to some trips. I don't know, whatever they show, right? Is it really the reality and is it really possible by each and everyone that goes through breakup? No, breakups are so, so, so emotionally exhausting and
Chinu is someone who has fallen for um men who have some questionable lifestyle choices, I'll say. And those men are generally of that type who will not settle down or are someone who are not looking for a relationship which is serious.
classic example
Red
of
flag.
opposites attract. Yes,
Yeah.
no.
No, I'll say classic red flag. Okay. So yeah, and when she fall for those men, I generally tell her that don't fall for such men. But she is there falling for those men, and I have to be with her because I'm her best friend, and then we are both going through this
Let me
together.
stop you there for
Okay.
the story. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute. So, not anymore, not anymore, because I've learned my lesson. But I used to be that girl, exactly from all those Wattpad stories and whatever. I can change him. I can
Yeah.
change him. And
Okay.
what I have learned is you can't change anybody, only you can influence people
To be
to
better for
make
you.
themselves, yes, and make themselves change for you if they
Yeah.
love you enough. You can't change anybody.
Yeah.
No, just your presence does not change anything.
Yeah.
The
So
person
as
himself or herself has to fear. Yeah, continuing with the story.
Yeah, so as I was saying, so yeah, I had to go through that with her. And here there we were um crying, Chinu crying, me sitting next to her, consoling her, telling her it's okay, life happens, move ahead, move on. There are You have to live more. There will be men in your life. Okay, you will get the person you want to be with for life. And no, she was just there, bawling her eyes out, crying, like, no, I want him. He's perfect for me. And whatever nonsense she believed back then. And yeah, there is this recent incident I heard about. So there is some YouTuber, male YouTuber. He's I think so someone who reviews gadgets and tech, I guess. And he was in some relationship for 6 years and something like that. And he broke up with his girlfriend 3 months ago, and he literally got married some 2 days back with some other girl. So I don't know how modern day relationship is working right now, but that is some scary thing I heard. I don't know what uh, happened in between those people, like the YouTuber and his ex-girlfriend, why they broke off after dating for 6 or 5 years. It's all their personal say. I am nobody to ask them. It's their life. Maybe there were problems in them. That's why they broke up. But he literally got married after getting out of a relationship of 6 years. Thought you were meant to be. But does it really require 6 years to realize that? That is also a question which arises in my mind sometimes when I read such articles. This is an
Interesting.
open-ended question I leave for you guys to comment and let us know your thought on this incident which happened recently.
So, coming back to breakups, the only glorified thing as shown in movies I did was I cut my hair. I cut my hair and and
Yeah.
it did not look good
So wait a
because I
minute.
had
Wait a minute. Her hair were like this long and she just chopped off this much. And I was the one who was holding the scissors. So it was fun for me.
the only glorified thing I did was that other I could not handle it at all. I would feel like I don't know like how many people are emotional and how many people get attached to that level. I think everybody has a different coping mechanism and some people are more braver than other, I guess. And for me, every day for like 9 to 10 or 11, 12 months, it would feel like my heart would just heart would just burst out of my body, or I'll just feel like, okay, I would keep looking at the stars like crazy, and then I would go like, oh, I don't think I'll ever be able to love somebody like that ever again. And my physical health would decline, and I would not love food that much at that time. Lot of struggles you go through when
Yeah,
it's breakup, and it's not that glorified. No, no, it's terrible. It's terrible to go through that. The only good thing about the breakups is that if you decide to learn from those, you learn a lot.
exactly.
Only good thing that comes out of that is that. Also, we have many, many more subtopics under this main topic to talk about, and we are very interested to do that. But we do not want to make this video more longer than it already is. So we are gonna make part two of with the same title in near future. So if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, how would we know that you love what we are doing, right?
So,
So
so,
stay
so
tuned.
stay tuned. Yes, stay tuned for this. And we will make a part two, and we will surely discuss more everything in the under this bracket in the next part. And yeah, I guess that's it for today's video. Yeah,
Also, P.S. The next week's episode is about the breakup-ish relationship. We're telling a
it's a story
mini-sode.
time. Story time.
Yes, some mini-sode, I guess. It's coming soon. So stay tuned for that. And as the modern day begging goes, please like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. If you love our videos, please let us know. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.